Hey everyone, back for another video here, and today we are doing a tier list for Wuthering Waves, specifically how good each character is, going to version 2.0. As you all know, the version 2.0 is really close by with the release of multiple new characters like Carlotta and Rochia, and also the new region of Renacida. So I thought I'd make this video to help everyone know what each character's place is in the meta. So without further ado, let's get right into the tier list. Alright, we have every characters right here, and here are the tier lists. Now before going into this, I have to say something first, and that is if I put a character in the D tier or like lower tiers, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to beat the game with these characters. It just means that it's going to be a lot harder with them compared to the characters on the top of the list, alright? So if I put like, for example, Verina in the D tier, and someone comes out and says, well, I beat the entire Tower of Adversity with Verina alone, that doesn't mean I was wrong. That just means that yes, you can still beat the endgame content with the character. It just means it's going to be a lot harder, alright? So make sure to remember that going forward. So now let's start with our first character, Spectra Rover. Now, Spectra Rover is the first character you basically get in Wuthering Waves. They are a good character, I would say, but they do nothing special, to be honest. The best use that I can think of this character is only to use them as a substitute healer, so you can proc the rejuvenating glow set on them. So if you don't know, you can actually get the sequence notes of Rover in the actual game and you don't have to pull for them. And in one of the sequence notes for Spectra Rover, it makes it so your ultimate will actually heal everyone in your team. It's nothing crazy, I think it was 200% of your attack. Now, even though the healing is not that insane, it can still activate the rejuvenating glow set, which is really good. But again, like this character doesn't really do anything special, to be honest. Like, yes, they are good as a healer sometimes, but you're not going to see them in like any type of endgame content. So I'm going to put them in the C tier. Another thing that they can do beside the ultimate is their outro skill will slow the enemies down, but it's not that long like compared to Xiangli's ultimate, so it's really not that helpful. And compared to other healers like Verina, Shorekeeper, or even like Baizhi, Rover really comes short in terms of like healing capability and healing buffs. Now the next character is Yangyang. Now Yangyang is the first 4-star character that you get in the game, and you could say she's poor game's favorite character, to be honest. Like even the game's picture is Yangyang for some reason. I still have no idea why. Now Yangyang overall has a good kit. Her ultimate is really good for grouping enemies, and her concerto capability is also good. You can really gain your concerto fast with her. And also her outro skill will generate energy for the ultimate of your character you're switching into, which is really great for the team. Now, the problem with Yangyang is there are always better supports in every team compared to Yangyang, alright? Like if you want to use her in a Jiyan team, well, mortefi is better. If you want to use her in a xiangli team, well, yinlin is better. And many other teams also, and many other teams as well. Yangyang is not going to be the best option in all of them. You could say she's a backup support, so if you don't have the actual best support for your main DPS, you can use Yangyang, but she's not the best at any team. The best team that I could say for Yangyang is going to be her with changli. These two really work together well, and I think this is going to be the best team for Yangyang, but that's probably it. And she doesn't do anything special other than regenerate energy. So I would say she is at the top of the B tier, or you could say at the bottom of A tier. Both of these actually work, but I don't want to make the A tier build up with so many characters. So I'm going to put her in the top of B tier. The next character is Verina. Verina is the first 5-star healer that we got in the game, and everyone has been using her since. She's really good. The concerto capability of her is really good. Like you can get your concerto with her super fast. For some reason, I have no idea why they made it so fast, but hey, it's really good. And she's also the best support for Jinshi's team. Now, even though she got power crept by Shorekeeper, it doesn't mean she can't be used anymore. She's still really good. So I would say she's at the S tier right now. Maybe in the future, if we get more healers, she will go down a tier. But still, the concerto you get from her is really fast, and I don't think they're going to top that with new characters. And also, the healing that she provides is actually better than shorekeeper, but shorekeeper obviously gives more buff in terms of crit rate and crit damage, so that's why she is not going to be at double S tier. She's going to be just in the S tier. Now let's go for our next character, and that is Encore. Now Encore is really weird, I would say. At first, when the game came out, everyone was saying like Encore is also like at the same tier as Lingyang. Some people were saying she's good, but to be honest, like nobody really cared about her until the game came out, and also Changli came out, and people started playing with Encore a bit, and then they realized that, oh, she's actually really good in terms of damage and like compared to the top DPSs. Like if you use her with sanhua at the same time, then she's going to be really good in terms of damage. Now, is it going to be top tier like for example jinshi? No, probably not. The one thing about Encore is you need to know her animation cancelled and how to play with her so you can deal the most damage. So it is a bit hard to play with her, but I would say she is a good character nonetheless. So I think I'm going to put her on top of the A tier. She might even go up a tier if I see like not a lot of characters in S tier, but we'll see how that turns out. But overall, Encore is a great character. Her ultimate deals a lot of damage. If you pair her with sanhua, she will do insane amount of damage, but a problem that she has is you have to have her health above, I think, 50% to deal the most damage. So parrying and dodging is really important for this character, so you won't get hit that often. Now let's go for the next one, and that is sanhua. Sanhua is a free 4-star you get from the game, and she is insane. Like the damage that she does is really good for a 4-star, first of all, and also the concerto building for her is so fast. Like you just go into her, use your ultimate, use your skill, and then while you're using your skill, you negative edge your heavy attack. Yes, I said negative edge. Basically what that means is you hold down your heavy attack while doing the skill animation, so it will activate the for the gauge ability sooner. And then after using that, you just switch to your other character while she's doing that, and then you come back to her, you use her echo, and then done. You're already like the concerto is full with her. You don't have to do anything else. Like that's crazy to me that she is so fast with her concerto, and also the damage that she does is really good at the same time. Last thing is her buff. She provides basic attack damage bonus for the next character you're switching into if you use her outro skill, which is great for a lot of teams, like for example camellya, encore, as I said before, and also you can use her with chixia as well. So since she's a really good character, I would put her at S tier. Yes, a free 4-star you get is actually a S tier character. And yes, some people might say, well, her damage comes short compared to like some other support DPSs that I'm going to put in the tier list, but it doesn't matter because the damage that she does doesn't really matter that much. It's still good, it's not insane, but the best part about her is the concerto that she gets, and it's so fast. You can really speed up your rotations in the Tower of Adversity if you have sanhua. Oh, and by the way, the tier list that I'm doing right now is mainly for Tower of Adversity, not holograms. For holograms, if you want to see more tier lists, then let me know. I can make a tier list for holograms separately. But yeah, like characters have different tier list value if you're only using them in the hologram or Tower of Adversity, alright? So now let's go over to our favorite pistol girl, and that is chixia. Chixia is a 4-star, also you get her for free, I think. And she deals a good amount of damage, interestingly, for being like a 4-star. But even though the damage that she does is good, and if you get more sequence note with her, it's going to be a lot better. The problem that I have with chixia is the parry. If you don't know, you can't parry with pistol characters. Maybe they change it for the future characters, but you cannot parry with the pistol characters right now, and it's really annoying. Like sometimes in the fight, if you don't parry certain enemies, you will suddenly get like really cooked in the fight. Like for example, in the Fallacy of No Return, sometimes he has parryable attacks, and if you can't hit that, then you will fall short on the stagger bar, and then he will enter his second phase and basically whack the shit out of you, alright? Or even like against the fight with Crownless, which you don't need to concentrate that often with like other characters to parry because he has a lot of parryable attacks. But with Chixia, you can't parry any of them, and Crownless attacks are really big in terms of like area, so you will always get hit. And lastly, like during her skill, when you hold down your skill, she's really not that fast, so it is really easy for you to get hit during that attack as well. But at the same time, with all of these negative things, the damage that she does with her skill and also her outro is still pretty good. So I would put her at the bottom of the A tier or at the top of the B tier, depending on how many sequence notes you have, I think. But I will put her in the bottom of the A tier. If you have built her and have her weapon and have her sequence notes, she will be insane. But if you don't have her sequence notes, then she's going to be a B tier, like at the top of the B tier, most likely. So yeah, the next character is Danjin. Oh, you all probably have seen the meme of Danjin solo clearing Tower of Adversity. Danjin is a high risk, high reward character. She sacrifices her health for big damage, and she deals a lot of damage, alright? I'm just going to say it. She deals a lot of damage, but the problem is she's really skill-based. So if you're not good at parrying or dodging, you will get fucked, let's just say, alright? Like, there is no way you can clear with Danjin if you don't know how to play the game optimally, alright? But if you can do that, then she will be insane in terms of damage. She will deal a lot of damage. If you have her sequence notes as well, she will gain a lot more buffs from her skills as well. So she will deal a lot more damage. But again, she sacrifices her health for it. And if in the future they release a shield character that's good with shield and can provide buffs with their shield, then Danjin will actually become one of the best characters with them, because if you have a shield, then you don't have to worry about her health and you can just like power through everything, to be honest. But until we get that character, she's going to be an A tier character, specifically here between Encore and Chixia. Now let's go to the next character. My boy, what happened to you? So calcharo was the most hyped character before the launch of Wuthering Waves. If you all remember, everyone was hyped for this character, everyone wanted this character, and he got power creeped 2 patches after that by a free 5-star. And ever since then, no one actually even remembers calcharo. He's not even in the story at all. So if someone doesn't even recognize him, I'm not surprised, to be honest. But honestly, calcharo deals good amount of damage. The problem that I have with him is his animations are a bit clunky sometimes, like with his second skill, for example. And also the ultimate has a really short range. Like you have to be really close to your enemy to deal damage with your ultimate first, like with the first hit. And then after that, if you miss some of your attacks with his ult, the rotation will get kind of messed up, and it's really not that fun to use. Now you can use him in a dual DPS, I think, but like you can't make him better in any shape than Xiangli, alright? The only use that I can see for him is you can use him on the floor 1, 2, 3 of Tower of Adversity on the left and right side. But other than that, like I don't see anyone clearing like the hard content with him easily, to be honest. But one thing that he is better than Xiangli is having good free-to-play options, to be honest. Like Xiangli's free-to-play options are horrible, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, she's not that good. She got power creep by a 5-star, by a free 5-star super quick. So yeah, I'm going to put him on the B tier. The next character is Jianxin. Now Jianxin is in a weird situation, to be honest. Some people say she's really good, some people say she's horrible, some people don't even care about her, they just use their verina and shorekeeper. So she's in this really weird spot, and you can even put the rejuvenating glow set on her if you put a certain gauntlet on her, which is a gauntlet that you can make in the game. You don't have to pull on anything. If you get that, you can actually heal yourself, which will activate the rejuvenating glow. Yes, you can activate that, But still, the main problem that I have with Jianxin is her calcharo is really annoying to fill up. Like, the most amount of calcharo you get from her is from her 40 gauge. The heavy attack that you do with your 40 gauge, it will provide shield and it will deal damage at the same time. But doing that takes, I think, 6 seconds in total. So it is a really big damage loss compared to, like, you could have used that 6 seconds for any other character, to be honest, alright? Now, this problem will get fixed if you have her first or second sequence notes, alright? But for 5 stars, I'm not going to include the sequence notes. So I would say she's not that good. You can still use her, obviously, but she's really not that fun to use. And another problem that there is in the game right now, which is a really major problem, and it is that shields have no benefits compared to healing, alright? Like, with healing, you can activate Rejuvenating Glow, and it'll be really easy for you to not die with healing characters. But with shield characters, you have to forcefully make them heal at the same time with their weapons, most likely, so you can activate the Rejuvenating Glow. Now, if in the future we get a set that increases like your crit or crit damage, or like your attack when you have a shield, then maybe Jiangxin will get better in the tier list. But until then, it's going to be a C tier. She is better, in my opinion, than Spectra Rover, simply because of her outro increasing ult damage. But if she didn't have that, she would be below Spectra Rover at the same time. So yeah, now Mortefi. Mortefi is one of the, I think, most overrated characters in the game, I would say. Yes, he does a good amount of damage, but you can only use him with Jiyan, alright? Like, Mortefi's kit is revolved around heavy attacks for her main DPS. And if Jiyan in the future is not a good character, then Mortefi will not be a good character at the same time, alright? Even though he deals a good amount of damage, he's kind of useless without Jiyan, I'm gonna be honest. But if he is with Jiyan, then yes, he will buff the fuck out of Jiyan, to be honest. Like, he increases heavy attack for Jiyan. His ultimate deals more damage if your character deals attack with their heavy attack, which Jiyan's ultimate is considered heavy attack. So yeah, it is really a good character if you have Jiyan. But I would say, like, her place in the meta, since it's only dependent on one character, he's not going to be S tier for me, I'm gonna be honest. He's going to be an A tier, and I would put him in below danjin, to be honest. Now, if in the future we get even more heavy attack characters, which I don't know if we will, to be honest, then his place can go up another tier, to be honest. But until then, well, he's in an A tier for me. The next character is lingyang. Lingyang was one of the characters that, even at the beginning of the game, everyone thought that he was going to be trash, and most people just saw him as a fun character, nothing more. And they were right, to be honest. Like, he doesn't do any damage with his attacks at all. His ultimate is really wanky at the same time. Like, if you get hit during his ultimate, you basically get knocked off and you have to get onto the air again. And it's really, really annoying to do that, like, in the middle of a fight. And again, like, his damage is really not that good compared to any other main DPS characters, I would say. So, like, I just would say, like, don't use him at all, I'm gonna be honest. So because of that, I'm putting him in the D tier. Sorry, lingyang. Like, I haven't used lingyang since 1.0, and the only reason that I used him was, like, because I got him from the random standard banner. And he is really fun, I'm gonna be honest. Like, he is really fun, but that's all that he is. Like, you're not going to deal any damage with him at all. The next character is Youhu. Now, Youhu is a 4-star healer that was released in 1.3 with the same patch as Shorekeeper, which kind of weird to release 2 healers at the same time, but okay. Her whole kit revolves around getting her antiques in a specific way, like getting 4 of the same antiques, or 2 of one antique and 2 of another antique, and then using a heavy attack to heal your characters, which is not really special. But after that, her outro skill increases the coordinated attacks of your next character by 100%. So it basically, like, doubles it. So yes, as you might guess, for some characters, it is going to be really good. Now, is it better than like Verina and Shorekeeper's buff? No, I'm gonna be honest. Like with Yuhu, one problem that I have with her is her concerto is really annoying sometimes to build up. Like if you get hit during like your animations or like when you're getting your antiques, then it's really going to be annoying to get them back sometimes. But I would say she is still a good character if you use her with like yinlin, mortefi. So you can definitely use her if you don't have like shorekeeper and verina. But I would say if you have both shorekeeper and verina, then you don't have any reason to use Youhu in the tower, to be honest. But one thing that Youhu does that is better than shorekeeper and verina is she deals more damage if you have her sequence notes. I think almost all of her sequence notes make her deal more damage, which is again really weird for a healer. But if you have more of her sequence notes, then she will deal more damage compared to other healers. So because of that, I will put her at the bottom of the A tier. Again, like she's not that special, but the coordinate attacks buff sometimes is really huge if you're like using yinlin or mortefi. And now the next character, which, oh boy, Jiyan recently had a buff, for me at least, and it wasn't with any character or with any like new sets or support. It was because of a rotation that I learned from Saint Tonta's stream, and that is the double dragon rotation. So basically with Jiyan, you can do a special animation cancel with dodge or skill that makes it so you can actually deal more damage with Jiyan's ultimate. So if normally you would hit the enemies 6 times, if you do this, you would actually hit them 8 times. And also you can use your skill in the middle of it. Now, before learning this, I would have put this character in A tier. I'm gonna be honest, alright? Like, yes, he is a good character. He deals a lot of damage, but without the double dragon, he's really not that good. I'm gonna be honest. But if you do learn that double dragon rotation, then he will be an S tier character, alright? So like if you have him, then try to learn that rotation as fast as you can, because without that, I wouldn't have been able to even think of clearing the Tower of Adversity with him. So yeah, as I said, thank you Saint Totas for, I guess, teaching us in your stream. But yeah, now the next character is Yinlin. This is the character. Like she is really good with her damage, with her concerto capability, and to be honest, everything, alright? And even you can like the soap cancel text that you can do with her is really easy to do, to be honest. And the damage that she does with her coordinate attacks is insane. The outro buff is also really good for calcharo and zhengli. But let's be honest, we all going to be using her with zhengli. But yeah, I would say like if Yinlin wasn't in the game, like both calcharo and zhengli would have been going down 1 tier. But yeah, because Yinlin is in the game, she really helps them perform the best, right? So because of that, we are going to put her in the S tier. Now, before going forward, why am I using double S and S tier? A character in double S tier is not going to get power creeped for a long time, alright? And we will see what characters I'm talking about. Now, let's go for the next character, which is Changli. Now, Changli, I'm gonna be honest, I still have no idea how to use her. I still have no idea. Like, the amount of swap cancels and, like, animation cancels you need to do with her. I mean, not animation cancels, but, like, swapping to your other characters when you're using your skill, your heavy attack, etc. Like, the amount of swapping you need to do with her is really annoying, in my opinion. And if you even play her perfectly, at most is going to be at S tier. Like, if you play her really optimally with every swap cancel text, you know, all of that, she is still going to be like at maximum an S tier character, which to be honest, not everyone can do that. And also her actual skill is kind of useless right now. Yes, like I know that she can buff chixia and encore, but I hope in the future we get a better fire main DPS or like fusion main DPS that uses their ultimate instead of like basic attack, for example, to attack. So Changli can actually have a good place in the meta or like in team building. But I would say like, yes, if you play her optimally and like do every swap cancel text with her, she's going to be an S tier character. But for most people, she's an A tier. and for me as well. I still can't play with her, to be honest. Now, jinshi. Now, jinshi. Okay, what are we talking about? All right, let's just do it already. Jinshi is double S tier, no question asked. Like the damage that she does is really insane, and it's even though she's really boring to use, I would say, it still doesn't matter. Like the damage that she does with her skill, it's still at the top of the damages that you can do with characters. All right, she has the most damage in her kit, no question asked. All right, like I don't even need to talk about it. The only problem that I have with jinshi is, okay, I have two problems with jinshi. The first one is, as I said, like she's kind of boring to play. Like it's really scripted. You just use your skill, your normal attack, your skill, and then your ultimate. And the second thing is building her team is really annoying. Like you need a really good coordinated attacker for her so you can use her. Like for example, zhezhi or even yinlin. You can also use yuanwu and lumi if you want to, but they're not that great, to be honest. But the interesting thing about jinshi is that she's still not at the best that she can be. All right, like yes, zhezhi is her best support right now because of her ultra and also her coordinated attacks. But if in the future we get a coordinated attacker that is spectra, or like at least increases only the skill damage of your next character, then jinshi can actually become even stronger. So yeah, like even like jinshi is really future proof. You can use her even in the future. You don't have to worry about power creep for a long time with jinshi. All right, so yeah, she's obviously a double S tier character. The next character is xiangli. Yeah, well, putting these characters together is really not that good, so I'm going to put him here for now. So Xiangli is a free character that we got in 1.2. He's, I would say, the most funnest character in the game. Like when I play with him, it's really fun. The enemy slowness that you get from his ultimate is really good, and also like the rotations, the whole overall like combos that you can do with him is really fun. Like every time I see a solo Xiangli clear for a boss fight or something on Twitter, I always watch it because it's so fun to watch. So I will put him on the S tier. As I said, like he's really good, but you do need a good support for him, which is yinlin. And if you don't have yinlin, it's kind of hard to use him in his full potential. All right. And also another reason that he's not a double S tier character is that his free-to-play weapons suck. Like I'm gonna be honest, if I didn't have the battle pass weapon for him, I wouldn't have been able to clear Tower of Adversity with him. Like his free-to-play weapons are horrible, but funnily enough, yinlin's free-to-play weapons are even worse. So yeah, the reason why these two are not as double S tier is, first of all, they can get power creep, and second of all, their free-to-play capability is horrible. I'm just going to say, like, building them is a nightmare if you don't have good weapons. So yeah, the next character is zhezhi. Now zhezhi is a good character. She deals a lot of damage with her coordinated attacks, and her outro skill buffs a lot, even though like her outro skill is kind of useless right now, like a part of her. Like the glacial damage bonus that you get from her is not useful on any character unless you're using her with the lingyang, which let's not talk about that, I guess. But she is a really good character if you use her with jinshi. So because of that, I'm going to put her in the S tier above sanhua. There's really nothing special that I can say about zhezhi. Like she just is a good character, like with the numbers, with the buff, with the coordinated attacks, everything. The next character, well, we don't even need to think about this. The next character, shorekeeper is the best healer in the game. No one can argue with that. Like the only teams that you should use verina instead of shorekeeper is a jinshi team, and second is a changli team, because if you have verina and changli together, then you can get more concerto, and it'll be easier for changli to get her 40 gauge field. All right. But other than these two teams, like you're going to use shorekeeper if you have her. All right. The buff that she gives is insane, and also the damage that she does with her special intro skill is better than I expected. I'm going to be honest. Like sometimes that special intro skill clears the Tower of Adversity for me. So yeah, like she's overall like great, and also for exploring as well. Like her butterfly is really fast, and you can pick up items with her at the same time. So yeah. The next character is camellya, which, I mean, it is really weird to see these two together, to be honest. Like, Anyway, Camellya deals a lot of damage. Her free-to-play weapons are insane. Like, her second and third best weapons are the standard 5-star weapon you get from the standard banner, and the free weapon you get from the event that is going on right now. So these are her second and third best weapons, and you don't even need her signature, to be honest, all right? Like, the standard weapon banner that you get is already insane because of the crit and energy and overall everything. So because of those, she deals a lot of damage. She's really easy to use, and her best support right now is Sanhua, which everyone do have, and a healer, you can put any healer, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter if you're using shorekeeper or verina. So yeah, she deals a lot of damage. She's insane, and the AoE capability of her is really good as well. But yeah, like, the only thing that you need to know about her is she's sometimes really hard to use against boss fights, like for example the Inferno Rider, because if the enemy moves around a lot or like deals a lot of damage that can throw you off like or interrupt you, it's sometimes annoying to use her instead of Jinshi. Is she better than Jinshi? In terms of damage, no, I'm gonna be honest. Like, in terms of damage, Jinshi is still better, but Camellya is really easy to build at the same time. Like, like her team is easy to build. Her best weapons are like really good options. So for a free-to-play player, I would say she is better than Jinshi. But in terms of damage, as I said, like, no one can top Jinshi right now. I'm gonna be honest. The next character is Aalto. I'm gonna be honest. Aalto is a great character. His concerto speed is almost as fast as Sanhua, but it's not as fast, to be honest. Like, no one can top Sanhua. And his outro skill is also good. He increases arrow damage for the next character. So you might be asking, well, if he's a good character, why am I putting him in the B tier? And the answer to that is simple. He has no team. There is no team that you can use him right now that he's the best character. The only main DPS arrow character right now in the game is Jiyan, and Jiyan's best support is mortefi, because mortefi increases heavy attack, and Jiyan's ultimate is considered heavy attack. So you can see why Aalto, even though he's a great character, he doesn't have any team to play with, which is why. But the next arrow main DPS character that you get is probably going to be buffing Aalto, because then Aalto can be used with that character. And if that happens in the future, he will go up a tier, probably in the A tier. But until then, sorry, but Aalto is really B tier, to be honest. Now, is he worse than calcharo? I wouldn't say so, to be honest. Yeah, I think yangyang and calcharo are better. The next character is taoqi. Taoqi, when the game was releasing, was really great on paper. She heals herself from her kit, so you can activate the rejuvenated glow on her. She gives shield to everyone. She reduces the damage that everyone takes. So when I first saw her kit, I was like, okay, she's going to be a good character to use, probably. And then I tested her. She is one of the most slowest, most annoying characters I ever used in this game. Like, holy, how can a character be so slow using a broad blade? Like, calcharo and jiyan also use broad blades, but they're not as slow as taoqi for some reason. I don't know why. Like, her animations are slow. If you want to use her 40 gauge, you have to attack with her after doing a special parry with her heavy attack. It's in her kit. And after that, you have to do this 3 attacks that is super slow, alright? And if you get interrupted in the middle of it, then that's it. I have no idea why they designed this character like this. And also, one of the only good parts about her was her outro skill, giving the next character skill damage bonus. And that is already power creeped because, I mean, not power creep, but that has already been added again to another character, and that is Lumi, alright? So, I'm sorry, but I'm not putting her above D tier, alright? I don't like this character. Now, sorry about that. The next character is going to be yuanwu. Now, yuanwu is a good character. I would say, like, the damage that it does is good. It's not even comparable to yinlin, to be honest, like the coordinate attacks. But if you have his 4th sequence node, then you will actually gain a shield, I think 200% of your defense, which can be really helpful. But other than that, he's kind of useless. And you can use him with Jinshi as like a backup support for Jinshi, but he's not the best in any team. And one of the main problems with yuanwu is his concerto. Specifically, his photo gauge fills up super slow. And the reason is his photo gauge fills up each second for when you have his skill underground. And because of that, you can't really speed it up at all. Like you can't attack with him to speed up his photo gauge. So because of that, he gains his calcharo really slow. Sometimes I use his outro skill once every 2 rotation. Like so because of that, he's really annoying to use, I'm gonna be honest. So he's going to be just a B tier character. Like he's not going to be good at anything, to be honest. Again, like you can use him as a shielder or as a support for Jinshi, but Jinshi's best supports are yinlin, zhezhi, etc. And shields, as I said, like they don't have any buffs right now. Maybe in the future, as I said with jianxin, if they give a buff, like if they give a set, like an echo set that buffs the team if you have shield, then that'll be really helpful. That'll probably make yuanwu a great character. But until then, he's a B tier, alright? And yes, I'm realizing that jianxin is lower than yuanwu, and that is because, well, yuanwu actually can be played in a team. I'm gonna be honest. And also, his shield is not too annoying to get. The next character is baizhi. Baizhi is a free healer that you get in the beginning of the game. She's really nothing special. Like, again, like as I said, youhu, if you have shorekeeper and verina, you're not going to use this at all. And the only use that she has, like the only thing that she does better compared to these other two, is with her 6th sequence note. And it basically increases the glacial damage of everyone in your team. So it is good for a mono glacial team. But to be honest, like even in that, shorekeeper is better, to be honest, like with the crit rate and crit damage. But she is a good healer. The calcharo that you get from her is really good as well. So you can use her as a backup as well. So she's going to be in the B tier. The next character, which is the last character that we got in the game right now, is Lumi. Lumi is in a weird spot, I would say. She's in the same spot as Aalto, I would say. Like she's a really good character, but she doesn't have a good team to play with, because her main role is going to be like a character that deals damage and also buffs the main DPS of your team, like with her outro skill giving skill damage bonus. And we don't have a lot of skill focused characters right now. Maybe in the future, if we get some, Lumi will get better. But I will say she is better than Aalto because of the damage that she gives. And also her outro is better than Aalto, to be honest, because Aalto's air damage bonus is only, I think, 20%, and Lumi's skill damage bonus is 38%. So you can see why it's a bit better. So I would say she is better than Aalto, but she doesn't have the perfect team for her to be used in. Maybe in the future we get some characters that use their skill, but until then I think I'm going to put her in, oh wait, I want to put her at either like the top of B tier or bottom of A tier, but ooh, I don't know which one. Let's put her, she's not as good as these characters, I'm gonna be honest. Like she's, if I compare Lumi to A tier characters, she's not as good as these characters, alright? I'm gonna be honest. Maybe Youhu, but she's a healer, so you can't really compare that. So yeah, I'm going to put her at the top of B tier. And yes, I know that she's above calcharo, and that is intentional. She is, I would say, better than calcharo. And also, like, Lumi has some unique mechanics with her yellow mode running. But yeah, other than that, if she gets a good team in the future, like a good main DPS in the future, she will go up a tier, like go to A tier probably. And the last character that we're going to do the tier list is Havoc Rover. Havoc Rover, even though is the main character of the game and it is free, he deals a lot of damage. I'm gonna be honest, like with his ultimate, with his attacks, the scaling of his ultimate is really insane for some reason. I don't know why, but it is really good. You can use him like in a lot of teams, like as your main DPS, as your sub DPS. He doesn't really do anything special as sub DPS, but even with that, his damage is enough that he can actually be used in a lot of teams as a sub DPS if you don't have a good sub DPS. And also, like, his free-to-play weapons are really good. You can use the 5-star standard weapon from the standard banner. So yeah, he is also a really good character. So we are going to put him in the A tier. I would say above danjin. Yes. And yes, I know that danjin deals more damage, but the risk that Havoc Rover has is less. And that is the reason why I put them above danjin. So yeah, that's the tier list for every character in Wuthering Waves for 2.0. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. Now, I will say this is all my personal preference, even though I'm probably right about 99% of these things. But if I got something wrong about these characters, or if I didn't mention something specific that would move them a tier above or below, then feel free to let me know in the comments. I will try to read all of them if I can. And let me know if you want me to make another tier list for the holograms, and I will do it right away. So yeah, that's all it is for this video. Thank you all so much for watching the video till now. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back for another video. Bye bye!